welcome back to my channel. This is Prepping by Faith, and today we are going to discuss the topic triggered. We live in a society that is easily offended by words and labels. We are bombarded with misinformation and new technology. We are told half-truths and outright lies to manipulate our thoughts and to keep us in line. Staying in a heightened sense of agitation is the name of the game, and the level of stress and surges of anger, frustration, and anxiety can cause us to overreact or feel completely drained. Not only do we need to be aware of what's going on because we don't want to be drawn into a situation that could go south very quickly, we also need to be able to keep our emotions in check so that we don't burn out from all of the stress. I think the first thing we need to understand is that they are trying to mold everyone into this world of sameness. They need us all to fit into a single box of thought so that we are more easily controlled. They are deliberately changing the language and the rules to pit us against one another and create division. If the us versus them mentality takes root, whether it's political, religious, cultural, color, you name it, the harder it is for us to come together and unite against the globalist agenda. The psychological warfare that is being distributed upon the people of the world is done in such a way that most are completely unaware of its existence. If you do see how the pieces don't quite fit together, then you are labeled as a conspiracy theorist, a domestic T-word, or now an MVE. Notice how the language has progressively gotten worse. That is to instill fear in the people so that they become paralyzed by it and disband. They don't want us to continue to come together and assemble against them. If everyone were red-pilled to where the matrix disappeared around them, they could never continue with their chains of bondage. So coming back to this notion of being triggered, how do we guard against it, and how do we avoid unsafe situations where the people around us become triggered? We have to realize that the words they choose to use are inflammatory intentionally. They are trying to solicit a response so that they have the grounds necessary in order to round up the dissenters. It's like the president's speech the other day. The terminology and verbiage are designed to label a group of people as dangerous so that they pull the wool over the people's eyes and draw the masses to their side. This is precisely the type of language that has led to previous genocides because people were convinced that they were doing the right thing. Even the scripture tells us in Matthew 24, verses 9 through 10, "Then you will be arrested, persecuted, and killed. You will be hated all over the world because you are my followers, and many will turn away from me and betray and hate each other." So there are those that will turn away from the faith and will also betray one another by handing them over to the authorities. I think they are coming out even stronger against those that are not on board with their way of thinking because they feel threatened. They intend to try to dissuade us from gathering and uniting because they know that if we do, it is over for them. We have to be careful not to fall into the traps that they are laying before us and continue to do our best to wake up those around us to the psychological warfare tactics that are being deployed. Avoid any situation where you are being goaded to respond in a physical way, but also remain strong and resolute in your beliefs because we cannot back down either. It is a fine line we need to walk going forward, and this is why I firmly believe that being led by the Spirit of God is going to be so important. We know that dark days are coming and that deception is rampant and is a tactic of the enemy. We need to be able to exercise spiritual discernment and wisdom so that we don't make one misstep. The Bitter Critter did an excellent video talking about this, and I'm going to link it for you in the description box below. We need to take the time to stay in the Word and in prayer because these things were foretold. Staying spiritually and mentally fortified will help us to battle what is to come. I believe that this battle we are facing is spiritual at its core. It is good versus evil, and we were also told that the wheat will be separated from the chaff. In Isaiah 5, verse 20 and 24, it says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Therefore, as the fire devours the stubble and the flame consumes the chaff, so their root will be as rottenness, and their blossom will ascend like dust, because they have rejected the law of the Lord of hosts and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel." I also believe that peacefully pushing back is the way for us to fight. Many of you are aware, but for those of you who are not, Prepper Now and Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival are trying to promote a boycotting of all social media, including YouTube, on October 31st, dubbed #Operation Pocketbook. I'm going to link that video in the description box for you as well. The level of censorship on the people of the world has gotten so bad that we need to make them feel it, and hitting them where it counts, their finances, can make a difference if we band together in mass noncompliance. Please do me a favor and spread this far and wide. United we stand, divided we fall. If you've enjoyed this video today, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember to pray, prep, and put God first. God bless.